Hello, so lots of people asked me to do a video on this disease X, and disease X is basically in China. There's this disease that's maybe thought to be a type of bird flu that has close to a 40% mortality rate, which is even higher than the Spanish flu just after World War I, which killed over 100 million people. So obviously lots of people are worried about it and think it might become a global pandemic. So the reason it's called Disease X is, for quite a while, the UN has basically been suspecting that there would be a couple of different types of diseases that might emerge that would be very dangerous. You know, lots of scientists had seen them coming. So Disease X was kind of the group name for one of these diseases, and they were always sort of super flus or antibiotic immune diseases. Now, obviously, I'm sure a lot of you know that flu is an airborne infection. For a long time it was thought to be waterborne, but it's now been confirmed flu is airborne, like everybody suspected. Coughing and sneezing and breathing makes it go airborne in enclosed spaces. So lots of people asked me to cover a video on this. Now, I've already done lots of videos on sort of flu pandemic and things like that, so I didn't really want to massively do this video because I didn't want to feel like it was a rehashed video, but as a lot of people requested it, here it is. So what can you do if it comes, if this does turn out to be some sort of super plague? How could you survive it? Well, if you have to go out dressed like I am now. Full NBC gear on, gloves, the mask, the hood. Failing that, wear rain clothes. Waterproofs with a mask should do fine. Don't use a surgical mask or anything like that. As I said before, surgical masks will do very little to protect you. You actually need a proper respirator with filter. Now, this is a P3 filter on this one, same as a P100 filter in America, which means it's the most efficient particulate filter you can have. This also does filter some chemicals as well because it's got charcoal in, but it's primarily the particulate filter you need. But personally, I'd go with the best filter possible because, why take the risk? So basically, it's spread from human contact. Now, they think it originated in chickens, being a type of bird flu. And obviously, basically, chicken feces and everything like that spreads to the farmers, who then spread it to other people. So as I said, so far it's been reported as having a nearly 40% mortality rate, which is incredibly high for flu. Now, if you're aware of how easily flu can spread, that means a global pandemic, could potentially kill 40% of the Earth's population off, which is a pretty big number. So like I said, I'm not particularly too worried about it because there's been lots of these events where they've said, there's going to be a super plague coming and nothing's materialised. But the people who talk about it generally tend to be quite qualified, so maybe they're onto something, I don't know. So, as I said, if you're going out in it and you really want to protect yourself, you do need the full NBC type gear on, or CBRN gear, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear. Obviously, you'd look like a bit of an idiot doing it, but if it keeps you alive, then you're not really an idiot, are you? But at the very least, you'd want the full face respirator on to protect the bacteria going into your eyes and being inhaled and everything like that. So I have the Polish MP5 on, the Polish L1 NBC suit. The mask's quite comfortable. The suits for a rubber NBC suit comfortable enough. I mean, you don't really get super comfortable NBC suits, but at least this would stop the germs going onto you. Now, obviously, when you get back in, you'd have to decontaminate properly. Because if you take the mask off, then rub your face with your hand or whatever else, and you've been exposed to stuff, that's not a good thing. So obviously, you'd need to keep rubbing alcohol or something around to keep sanitising yourself with. Be careful if you rub your eyes or, touch your mouth after you've been out, because there's a good chance you can then spread, bacteria or the virus or whatever into your system that way. So there you go. This is my Disease X video. We'll have to wait till there's more info out, really. But lots of people requested it, so here it is, and I think lots of people always like to see me in the full NBC gear because, that's more interesting. But yeah, Disease X, how are you going to protect yourself? We'll have to wait and see, but this is the sort of equipment you need to be wearing.